Hello. Welcome to the Free Bin, the Toledo, Oregon Public Library's podcast. I'm Harrison.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here to talk about...
March is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. I wanted to get that right. And we are here to talk about that. We're here to present some books that we have in our library that are written by people who are disabled. And we are here to talk a little bit about what exactly it is and why we need to support this and what you can do to help.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
we've got Cindy has beefed up our collection.
Yes, considerably.
the number of voices, representative voices of folks with disabilities of various stripes. And I
just remembered a book I have that I don't have with me.
Okay.
Can you pause?
Oh, we can always pause.
Okay. I'll be right back.
But I won't. I'm just going to let it be dead air.
You just keep talking.
And we're back.
All right. Sorry about that. So we're going to start in just a minute. Harrison has brought this interesting beverage for us to try, and I think you're right. I think we need to shake this up. So why don't you tell us about it?
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I found it across the street in a store, not just
right, not just randomly
to the
sitting.
Road. It's called Parrot Aloe Original. Bebida de aloe vera con sabor artificial de aloe.
So is that artificial aloe?
Yes, it is.
But then when you look in the bottle, so this is lime green, and you look in the bottle, there are things floating in it.
Yes. It's distributed by Sun Hing Foods Incorporated of South San Francisco, California. It's a product of Korea. It's in English and Spanish, all the labeling. No Korean.
Yeah.
Ingredients: purified water, sugar, aloe vera gel, citric acid, calcium lactate, artificial flavor. There's the artificial. Sodium citrate, vitamin C to retain freshness. Nice that they specify that.
Right.
It's not for your health. It's just so you can keep this forever. Gellan gum,
Yeah,
and
something.
beta carotene.
Yeah.
It's bright green, like Cindy described.
So my question is, can I, if I get sunburned, pour this all over me? And it will help.
You can try.
I mean, in desperate times, right?
It might burn because it's got vitamin C, so it might be a little bit acidic.
Well, yeah, maybe.
It's got the chunks, so it looks, honestly, the substance and the bottle and the packaging kind of looks more like an aquarium supplement or some kind of plant food.
It does.
Than a beverage.
Yeah, it does say to shake it well, which we're going to do.
So
and then we're going to try this.
I hit my headphones. It looks like something you'd feed to corals.
Well, let's see.
Right, here we go.
I mean, I like, we have aloe vera plants here in the library in case you want to take a little shoot off of it. But I don't think we're going to.
Doesn't smell like aloe to me.
Kind of smells good.
It kind of does.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I got something. I got a chunk of something. It's so sweet.
Wow. 53 grams of sugar in 16.9 ounces. I should mention that. 0% juice.
It has pieces of aloe. Well, it has pieces of something. I don't know what you could. It's not like little green leaves. It's like the little things inside the aloe gel stuff.
That is weird.
It's. I love this. It also contains 0% juice. Just in case you want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad.
No,
it's just so sweet.
Kind of like it. It almost tastes grapey, but
yeah.
I don't know
Limey,
what to make
grapey.
of this.
Yeah, I don't either. It's not horrible. I'm going to say if you want to go pick up Parrot Aloe Original drink, it's not horrible.
Yeah.
But be prepared for the sugar rush that you will get. I drink diet I drink diet pop. So anything that has sugar in it is just really sweet to me. But yeah, it's
intense.
Maybe with some ice in a cup, it wouldn't be too bad.
I don't think you want to put this on a burn because you'll be covered in bees and ants.
You don't use it for a sunburn. Use your regular aloe plant for sunburn, not parrot aloe original. Wow.
All right. Well, what do we got coming up?
Well, this month March is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And there's a group called the National Association of Councils on Developmental Disabilities, NACDD, and it partners to collaborate to lead Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. It's an annual campaign, and it highlights how people with and without disabilities come together to form strong communities. And I have a history of working with the disability community for 30 years because my son is 34, and so we've been involved in the community from the time when he was when inclusion really didn't come around. Now you hear inclusion as part of the school system just automatically. But back when my son was first in school, that was not a thing. And so you had to really kind of fight for to get a child included in a classroom rather than separated according to their needs. And I always was so thankful for the people who pushed forward, the parents who said, no, I'm not going to put my kid in an institute. I'm going to keep them at home. They're going to go to school. They're going to learn. They're going to grow. And who really, we stand on their shoulders. What we have now in America for people with disabilities is a credit to those people from 100 years ago who really stood up and said, no, this is not okay. So my son has autism. That is considered a developmental disability. I'm going to, in case somebody doesn't know, or they go, well, is that physical? Is that mental? What's the proper language? The language changes all the time. And really, if you want to know, then ask the person. Especially a person like my son has autism. We always use what we call people first language. So when I describe my son, it's not, well, he's autistic. That's not his descriptor. He is so much more than that. And so we never wanted his disability to define him. And so it's almost always safe to ask somebody, Most of the time you'll find that people are very, very, very open to that. And if you can't ask the person directly, ask their caregiver. Ask them, what do you prefer? Because I want to be respectful and I want to be truthful to what you're thinking. And I think that's really important. So NACDD has a year-long recognition, and they celebrate in March, and they are emphasizing that community accessibility and opportunities for people with developmental disabilities should be recognized and championed every day, not just in March. This month reminds us that individuals with developmental disabilities are valuable members of our community, and they deserve full participation in all aspects of life, including education, employment, recreation, and civic engagement. This month was established in 1987 by President Ronald Reagan. Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month highlights the importance of fostering a society where people with disabilities are empowered to contribute to their communities. While March provides an opportunity for heightened awareness, true awareness happens when we commit to creating accessible environments and productive opportunities year-round. And I think that's something our library strives to do. Everyone is welcome here. And if you feel like you're not welcome, you need to come in and tell us why. And we'll fix it. Yeah. Because libraries especially are places where you are safe to come no matter what. And hopefully we can provide resources that people need.
Yeah. I have an autism family as well. And it's the sort of thing where because names of things change, diagnostic criteria change. We've got the kind of autism that might not have even been diagnosed as autism 25, 30 years ago. Right. It's spectra, and everybody is different. Everybody's experience is going to be different.
Right. And they say you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism, because, and that's the disability I'm familiar with, but our family also has Down syndrome in it. And that has been an amazing journey to see that happen and to be able to stand back and watch my grandson grow and change. And it's such a unique, everyone's so unique. I mean, I always have thought, and this is just my opinion. I do that a lot on here. Come at me if you want. I don't care. My opinion is that all of us have a little bit of that spectrum when it comes to autism. We all have our quirks. We all do things differently. We all think in different ways, which makes us so unique and so beautiful, that we are all created differently in different ways. And that adds to the strength of a society.
Yeah.
So just so you're clear on what we're talking about when we talk about disabilities, developmental disabilities, and this is where they define it. This is the law. This is not me making this definition. I got it off of the site. They define it as different from physical disabilities. So physical disabilities tend to be pretty obvious. Somebody's in a wheelchair, or somebody uses, is blind, or, cannot hear. Those things can be obvious. Developmental disabilities, maybe not so much. And so what they define developmental disabilities is a severe mental or physical impairment or combination of mental and physical impairments. It's different, a little bit different for kids under 18. And then adult, the criteria changes more to functional living, whereas in schools, it's more an intellectual. How are they doing academically? Or socially, whereas in the adult world, it's more of can they function on their own? Can they call for medical help? Can they schedule a dentist appointment? Can they dress themselves? Can they feed themselves? And all of those things, there's a functional assessment that you get when you go to get resources, and you have really great case managers. We have a great disabilities department here in Oregon, in Newport. We are so lucky. They are so helpful and so wonderful. And so you can go and get help from them. It's a long process usually, but they'll hurry it along. They care about people, and they want them to get the resources that they need. So, if you are looking for help, and I put this down, if you are looking for help, and maybe you have a kid, or maybe you yourself are struggling and you are looking for help, it is the Oregon Department of Human Services, which is also DDS, the Department of Disability Services. It's in Newport if you're on the coast, but you can go to .gov, your state, or even federally, and you can, with a little searching. And if you have struggle with that, come to the library. We'll help you search. We'll help you get the things that you need. So that's kind of, and I could talk about this forever, because this has been my life forever, it seems like. And I worked as an advocate, and so I'm pretty passionate about this. But we also here at the library have started a collection and added to our collection of some really good books. And the ones that I have brought in today are actually written by the people who are the main characters in here.
Imagine that.
Someone wrote a book about their experience. And I'm going to talk about a couple of them. I will say, though, that if you are a fiction reader, there are books out there that have characters who are disabled. And the one that comes to mind is Jeffrey Deaver's The Bone Collector. And there was a movie with Denzel Washington. And it's a great movie. It's a great... it shows you what someone can do with their mind when their body has ceased to be able to function the way it should. There are lots of books out there that you can search in our database and find if you're looking for a character who has a disability. But the book I brought, this is a brand new book. I just got this. It's called Unmasking for Life, The Autistic Person's Guide to Connecting, Loving, and Living Authentically. It's by Devon Price, who is a PhD. He also has autism. And he wrote this book, and I just glanced at it because I was like, this is fascinating. And it's just, he just gives really practical advice for learning how to accepting change in your life, because that can be really tough for people with autism when things change. Learning how to disagree with people and discuss. Learning how to manage social mores, social skills, that how does that person feel about me? Just how to plan how to work with your family, how to work at your job. I mean, this is like, we may need this for regular people who don't have that autism, who don't have the gift of autism.
I was going to say, we're all of us, regardless of what neurocognitive stuff we've got going, we all enact social behaviors in order to get by. And we may... Other people may be doing it because they're feeling something different, or, you kind of assume that your own experience is universal until you find out otherwise.
Right. You know, I've been overjoyed to see the voices come out of the community of people who proudly say, I have neurodivergence. Which is a term that it really covers more than just autism. It covers all kinds of different things that happen with people. And it's just saying, I think differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so it's all a matter of really, for everyone, to be aware that somebody doesn't, just because they don't think like you, doesn't make them wrong, or it just makes them different. And hopefully, as humans, we are going to accept that and say, how can I better understand you? How can you understand me? How can I understand you? Knowing that our belief systems are different, our way of reacting are different, our social skills are different. How can we figure that out without becoming condescending on one side, perhaps, and that's not acceptable either. So one of my, I have a favorite author that I brought with me because he's just so funny. But the other book that we have in here is called The Boy Who Lived: When Magic and Reality Collide, My Story. It's written by David Holmes. David Holmes was Daniel Radcliffe's stunt double from the time the first Harry Potter movie until how many are 7? Are there 7 movies?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Split one into
So until the end of the 5th or 6th movie, and you can read the book. And what happened, there was a horrific accident on set, and David Holmes was paralyzed doing a stunt for Daniel Radcliffe. And this book is really good. It's very honest. It's heartbreaking, but it is written by somebody who realized what was going to be his life and decided to just live his life the way, at his terms, how he wanted to live it. And it's really a great book. He talks a lot about being on the set of Harry Potter. He talks a lot about being a stuntman. He started when he was 14. And he talks about the danger and the risk that he knew he was taking. And then, of course, had a really horrible accident. But I did we have a couple more here. I did bring a couple of books by a guy called Shane Burcaw, and he's written, we have 3 of his books. One is written for juvenile. It's in our kids section, and it's basically, he'll answer any question you want to know about his disability. He has a very rare form of muscular I want to say muscular dystrophy, but you'd have to check it out on his book because I don't remember. It's a very rare form of that where his body has stopped growing and he's very fragile. And this book is called Laughing at My Nightmare. And it's in our young adult section. I would caution you though that the themes, there's adult themes in it. He's very honest about everything.
This leans toward the adult side of young adults.
Yeah, it does. I think it's okay for kids for like 17 and up, maybe 16 and up, but for younger kids, they're not going to get the seriousness of it because he is truly laughing at his nightmare. He is a funny guy. And if you read the book, if you read the back of the book, which I will not read, but if you read the back of the book, you'll know what age group this is kind of pushing. He has a YouTube channel with his wife, Hannah, that I watch frequently. They are very honest and open about their relationship, and he's written several other books, and I'm going to see if they're listed. He wrote one called "Everybody Thinks My Girlfriend Is My Nurse." He talks. He's very blunt and very, very funny guy. The YouTube channel or if you'll find him on Facebook too, is Squirmy and Grubs, and they can explain that to you on their thing. I don't know why, but they wrote a book together, he and his wife Hannah, called Interabled: The True Stories About Love and Disability from Squirmy and Grubs and Other Interabled Couples. And what they did was I am amazed. I go to their YouTube channel and they tell about things that people do or say to them because she is able-bodied and she's beautiful. She was a model and a swimmer. She's beautiful. And people are literally, why would you be with somebody like that? She only wants you for your money, or she should go and find a real man. I mean, they are horrible, horrible. And so I think they wrote this book as kind of a response to say, wait a second, because all of these couples in here are interabled. Someone has a disability and the other person doesn't, and have experienced much of the same kind of abuse. I'm sorry, it's abuse. First of all, it's none of your business. But secondly, who said you could say something so awful to somebody? And again, internet trolls, aren't they just fun? But I read a few of these stories, and again, you're going to get, this is not a book for young children. You're going to get the whole story. They talk about everything. They talk about intimacy. They talk about bathroom protocol, for lack of a better word. They talk about everything. And so we have that one. We have all of these books in our library if you are interested. And I would encourage you, especially if you don't know somebody with a disability, or maybe you know them and you want to understand better, to really choose a book to read, to get an idea of what someone else might be thinking about. And then our last one, we just got this. This is another one of my favorite guys. His name is Trent Landreth. He has, I'm going to look and see what his parents say, because Trent does not have conversational speech. I'm just going to read from the back of the book. It's called Drawn to Be You. It's illustrated by Trent Landreth. It's written by Corey and Andrea Landreth with Jefferson Knapp. So this is just the blurb on Trent. Born in 1997, Trent Landreth was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2. Having no conversational speech, Trent has difficulty expressing himself. His family relies heavily on his body language and signs of frustration to decipher his needs. Trent has been drawing since he was a toddler, and this is a savant skill for him, and he shows great emotion in the characters he creates, which are typically animals. He also enjoys listening to many different kinds of music, watching movies, and going places with his family. He is a child at heart and loves Sesame Street and anything Disney. Trent's art can be found in prints, coloring books, T-shirts, and more at drawingsbytrent.com. And we have his book here in the library. It's a children's book. It's really cool. It's written in rhyme. Lots of cool pictures. You can come and check it out if it's in, because I have a feeling it's going to go out a lot. And we invested in one of his T-shirts, which is really cute. And it's hanging at the front desk. You can come in and enter your name in a drawing. And at the end of the month, we will draw out a name, and that person will get that T-shirt. It's a very cool T-shirt. He has a lot of cool stuff. T-shirt. And his drawings, of course, Miss Denise loved them because it's a hippo. So
gotta love a hippo.
Gotta love a hippo. So those are the books we have. We have a lot of the other ones. Yeah. This library is for all people, and I want our friends who maybe struggle with, for whatever reason, we are here to help you. And if we can't help you, we can find somebody who can. Okay,
Absolutely.
I'm done talking.
I wanted to tell my little anecdote because this reminded me of a line from a song. And
of course
today's topic got a song stuck in my head. So now I'm going to tell a long circumstantial story that nobody asked for.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what podcasts are for, right?
That's what neurodivergence is for.
That's true, too.
So there's a song by Ian Dury called Spasticus Autisticus. Bear with me. If you don't know who
get offended.
If you don't know who Ian Dury was, he was the singer for Ian Dury and the Blockheads. They were kind of punk. I would kind of put them sort of with like Blondie before punk kind of got narrowed down to this specific type of thing. But, very funny, very clever, great band. Anyway, Ian Dury, when he was 7, got polio from a swimming pool.
Really?
And yeah.
Wow.
And it left him permanently disabled. It stunted his growth, his arm, his legs. So he was visibly disabled. He had struggles as a kid. He grew up, spent a lot of time in hospital schools in England. And so, and part of the curriculum there was not helping the kids. That was kind of the thing at the time, is make sure they can handle their stuff on their own.
Sure. Pros
and cons, but it shaped him into somebody who was a very self-assured and strong-headed guy. To put it nicely, I hear he was pretty cantankerous, and I think this story is an example.
Right.
So when 1981 came around, it was termed let me pull up my notes again.
Right. You want to get this right.
Yeah. 1981 was designated the International Year of Disabled Persons.
Okay.
Ian Dury did not like this. In his view, this recognition did not actually include voices of disabled people. He felt like this was people who were not disabled, did not understand, did not, in his view, actually care, who were just making a effort to kind of make themselves feel good.
Right.
So he felt that at this time that this was hypocritical. So to make a point, Ian Dury wrote a song called Spasticus Autisticus. It's a hilarious song. It's very catchy, and it's just him, sort of the same vein as Shane Burcaw, just laying out all the parts that like the hard parts of being dealing with a disability. And he did this with the purpose of getting banned from the radio by the BBC, because he kind of wanted to make the point of like, all right, year of disabled persons, here I am, a disabled person, and they're going to ban me from the radio when I try to say something. Right. And it worked. They did ban it from the radio. So fast forward to the 2012 Summer Paralympics opening ceremony. Spasticus Autisticus was performed live and broadcast worldwide in 2012. So progress has been made.
Yes.
The voices are
being heard.
Inclusion of the actual people who I've run out of words. I used
right. Well, and that's the cool thing about and I want to put a plug in too. I didn't write this down, so I'm probably going to get it wrong, but there's a real need for what is called personal service workers, our personal support workers. It is a job. You get paid pretty well. I think it's up to $19 or $20 an hour now, and it's just to be supportive of a person who needs like rides, can't drive, or maybe they need help cleaning their house, or maybe they need help going to recreational places. Andrew has a personal service worker. That's my son. Sorry, I just said that. My son has a personal service worker who takes him bowling every week and takes him out to lunch and takes him shopping, and that kind of job is, I mean, it's a great job. If you are, what you need is patience, and you need to understand that it is driven, that what is happening at the job is driven by the person you're helping. So to explain that, so for example, if a person does not, let's say you say, hey, we could go swimming, and they say, I don't want to swim. Then you don't try to force that. That's their decision. It's all of the planning that goes into this is driven by the person or the caregiver of the person, because there are times when voices cannot be expressed, but caregivers have to be aware of that, that the person taking care of them, like their parent or their grandparent or whoever, is usually the one that knows them the best and can make those kind of decisions. But if at all possible, it is the person who has the disability, who lives with it every day, that gets to make the decisions about what they want to do. Maybe they don't want to go to a pumpkin patch. Maybe they hate that. And yet, let's go to the pumpkin patch. And so they've really made a push for it here in Oregon. I was very surprised because we came from Illinois. Here, I received so much more support and so much more help and encouragement from the people at the Department of Developmental Disabilities, who I just said earlier, so you're going to have to put that in.
The full title there is the Developmental Disabilities Services Division of Lincoln County Health and Human Services. I'll put a link in the show notes.
Yes, I can't remember what it is. But that's how they plan now. Now, they didn't used to do that. It was just like, oh, you're going to enjoy this, let's go. Or, oh, well, you need to do this today. And even in the case of medication, if a person doesn't like the way the medication makes them feel, you cannot force them to take it. And that becomes a problem that you send to the social worker and their family to talk about. But as a personal support worker, you are there to support that person with what they want to do. And I think that that's so important. That's such a huge mindset change in how we view disability in people, that they are not less than, that they are not, oh, we have to take care of this person, but that they are a person with rights, just like every other human being. And they have the right to state what they want and what they don't want. So again, I could talk about that forever. And I realized I did my long story leading up to a line from a song, and I forgot. Oh, you got to do the line. I trailed off, so I got to do the line. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought, and you saved me from that. You saved our listeners. No, but I think we should end with the line from the song because it's appropriate. So there's a line, a verse from Spasticus Autisticus by Ian Dury. Hello to you out there in normal land. You may not comprehend my tale or understand. When I crawl past your window, give me lucky looks. You can read my body, but you never read my books. And that popped into my head when I thought of how many great books are out there now. Yeah, absolutely. People sharing their experiences of disability. That's right. And we're going to read the books. Yes, we are. All right. So we will see you all next week. Yeah. Next week, I'd probably be you and Denise. Yeah. So come up with something fun. We'll see what happens. Talk to you then. Bye. Bye. The Free Bin is a production of the Toledo Public Library, which is part of the Lincoln County Library District in beautiful Lincoln County, Oregon. Writing by Harrison Baker, Cindy Balek, and Denise Marsh.
Original music and editing by Harrison Baker. That's me. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect those of any organizations they represent. Good night.